And very happy to continue to serve this amazing organization. And I'm super excited about the ambassador program. It's something that's been on my heart for several years now. And whenever you start a new program, it's a whole lot to launch something like this, especially when it involves a whole lot of people. And I was taught from a very young age that many hands make light work. And what our association stands for is of such importance to me, and I'm sure to all of you, and really to food security and our ecology and water restoration and reclamation and just so many things, the environment, that it's worth preserving. What we do is worth preserving, and many hands make light work. Sarah Harris is our secretary for the Florida Agritourism Association, and she has a huge job. She works so hard. Lena Juarez, our executive director, is up there in Tallahassee, pounding the ground, trying to make sure that she represents all of our interests. And we want to protect our agritourism statute as much as possible. But just today, actually late in the day, I got an email from one of our board members that a local county, Alachua County, was actually making a decision today on something that was going to potentially impact agritourism across the state of Florida. So it starts in a county and then there's a precedent set, right? And then other counties will follow suit. So what they're looking at, just to refer to it very quickly, is they want to put an ordinance in place in their land use comprehensive plan that would force agritourism operations that have 50 cars or more visit their site during peak hours of any given day. They want to force those agritourism operations to get a traffic study,
No.
which would be very cost prohibitive for us. And then they also would like to force these agritourism operations, if they find that they have a lot of traffic, that they produce a lot of traffic, that you could be forced to put in a turning lane or a traffic signal, which is about $1 million. So these little farm stands and U-Pick operations, like when we do our U-Pick, we might have 50 cars show up. So I know that some of these other places, and certainly on a wedding day. So these are things that I'm hoping, my hope is that the ambassadors the people who are signing up to be an ambassador, they're going to stay connected to their local government, their county commissions, and so, for example, I'm signed up for notifications. Whenever the word agritourism pops up at the Board of County Commissions in Hillsborough County, I get a notification. So this is one of the things that we're going to be talking about. But before we get into all of the meat and potatoes of all of this, I just want to thank you, all of the people who are here today. And I'm hoping that more people log in because there's only a few of us right now. But I want to thank you for your time because I know how busy we are because I'm busy too. And, if you run your own business, you get to choose which 24 of the hours that you want to work that day, right? Which for me is like 18. So, anyway, but I want to thank you guys for your commitment to agriculture, for your commitment to agritourism. I want to thank you for continuing to farm because I want to say that every single day. Thank you for farming. So, Kristen, I see a question from you. Can you tell us how to get the notifications? So, I signed up for notifications so long ago. I want to tell you, I was planning on showing you how to do it, but I went into Hillsborough County Board of County Commissioners just before this, and I am looking for how I signed up for notifications because I
Unfortunately, every county is going to be slightly different. Some counties have real easy websites to navigate, others are more difficult. If you want to let me know which county you're looking into, and I have all your county information. I can try to help you navigate as well, because it is important. And Alan's been really good at keeping his finger on the pulse in Alachua County for us.
We're very thankful for that today, Alan. All right. So, yes, Sarah, we'll definitely need your help in doing that. And I'm going to try to figure out. I know our website in Hillsborough County has changed. When I opened it up, it was like, oh man, this doesn't look the same at all from when I signed up. So I'm going to have to get in there and navigate it. But that's something that we will do a flow chart for you so that everybody can do that. So I know on most sites it says, I want to, and then you can type in sign up for notifications. So anyway, that's one of the things that we're going to be asking for everyone to do. If you stay true to this commitment and you become the ambassador for your area, then that's something that we're going to do. Before we get started, I want to ask Sarah if you can put up the new map, because everyone on the Zoom, I want you to look at the new map and tell us what district are you in, or what, can you put that up for us, Sarah?
While I look for that, I was just going to do some quick housekeeping that we do before every webinar. I'll make it
Okay.
really fast. Most of you can probably figure this out on your own without any help. Oops. Just want to remind you, if you have trouble with audio, let us know. Here are some troubleshooting ideas. Rules of etiquette, just if everyone can keep muted. If you're like me and have a dog that wants to eat around this time and will be disturbed, I'll be on mute. If you're on video, just try to keep focused on the guest. And that is it. So I will stop sharing and I will pull up that screen. Keep chatting while I do it.
Okay. So signing up for notifications, there in Hillsborough County, we have a Board of County Commissioners newsletter that goes out. And so I was not signed up for that today. I went ahead and signed up for that. But also, one of the things that I think is very valuable is to meet your county commissioners. We want to ask the board members and certainly the ambassadors to schedule an appointment with them at some point. And you can take your board member with you. So if you're in an area and you're just not confident yet in that, I think the board members would love to go with you. So you can contact your local board members and get to know them. Let them know who you are, that you're an ambassador, and that you really want to be a part of the conversation. You want to get notifications, and you want to be the voice of agritourism in your area, in your district. So that's one of the things that we're looking for. The counties, if Alachua County is addressing offsite impacts, I can bet you that the rest of the counties are thinking about that too. So that's one of the things, we have lots of protection within our statute for protecting us from regulations, from regulatory oversight, and from ordinances and things like that. But the one way that they can get to us and control what we do is through offsite impacts. And so that's really where we have some bad actors across the state who have not been good neighbors, and or there is fear in the community for what could happen. And I think a lot of the problems that we have is not because there is a problem, but because some people fear that what we do could become a problem. And so we need to meet that head on. And that was one of the reasons why we created that Good Neighbor document, is to try to self-regulate. We want to regulate ourselves and each other so that our county commissioners don't have to come in and make a bunch of rules. So everybody take a look at this ambassador program districts and find where you are. So I'm in Hillsborough, which is District 4. So everybody take a look at that. Have you found your district? Raise your hand if you found yours so far. Okay. All right. So we're going to do a little bit of a roll call. So I want to see is there anyone here from District 1? Raise your hand. Okay. Thank you, Deborah and John Lewis. And is there anyone here? Thank you, Katrina. Is there anyone here from District 2? I'm not seeing anybody.
I saw you, Rose, as well.
Oh, Rose is there. Okay.
Alan's from District
We
2,
are.
isn't he?
I don't know if you can see us.
I can't see you personally. Oh, hi, Kristen. So, yeah, so we want to make sure somebody's here from each of the districts. Is there somebody here from District 3? You can click on the bottom of your screen and you can hit that react button. Anybody here from District 3?
Alan had said he was from District 2 earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
I'm from District 3, Greg Lafise.
Yeah, Greg.
Oh, good. Hi, Greg. All right. District 4, I'm here. Anybody else from District 4?
Joanna.
Okay. Awesome sauce. All right. How about District 5? Do we have anybody? Christy, is that you? Christy Grooms. Yay. All right. How about District 6?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Say your name.
Oh, Christy Grooms Barnes.
So, Christy, are you from 4? I'm sorry, 5 or 6?
5.
5. Okay. Yes, Polk County. District 6. Do we have anyone?
I can answer for her. Julianne Barber is on the call, but she might be driving, so she is District 6, Hardy County.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. How about District 7?
And I am District 7.
Thank
Hi,
you.
I'm
Highlands
also
County.
Okay.
I'm also District 7, Highlands County.
Okay, is
Hi,
that
Lexi.
Hi.
And Brian Belcher raised his hand too.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Well represented. How about District 8? All right, nobody? Palm Beach, Glades, or Hendry?
I tried recruiting a few, and I still have to continue recruiting them.
Okay. Isn't Pam from District 8?
No, she's District 7.
Yep.
All right. All right. If you guys know anybody who's in Hendry County, Glades County, or Palm Beach County, we really need somebody down there. All right. And then how about District 9?
Easy.
Michelle, can I interrupt? Because I couldn't get off mute.
Oh, okay.
Hi, it's Denise from Kings
Hi,
Crossing Barn. I'm District 6.
Okay, you're 6. Thank you. Thank you, Denise. I'm so glad you're here today. So we need somebody from 8. And did we have any takers for District 9? All right. So 8 and 9 are the only missing people for today. All
No,
right.
we have District 9.
Who's that?
Yeah, Lucia.
Oh, hey, Lucia.
Lucia, yeah.
Okay.
Lucy's farm.
Sometimes when you hit your mute button, when you get off of mute, it takes a little while for your computer to catch up. So, all right, very good. So it looks like only District 8 is not represented in today's Zoom meeting, and that's okay. We're going to keep working to try to find someone from that district. I know this summer when we had our conference, we had that table meeting where which was inappropriate for or what we did, but whatever, where we asked people to sign up to be an ambassador. And one of the things that we have talked about is having more than one is not a problem. So it's a big job, and we're excited about the opportunity for this being a pipeline to leadership. And then also, we really need your help. So I know the board members are super excited about launching this activity. Alan, whoa,
Yes.
did you hear that?
Yes.
Alan, hey, I know we were going to have you spearhead that. Would you like to say something?
Well, I'm very thankful that we have 20 participants on the call and the interest. I think it's extremely important that we all realize that we have people really we need someone in every county in Florida. So maybe as we're in districts, we can help recruit people from every county, as Michelle and Sarah and Lena know. I mean, we've been busy all afternoon with the issue that popped up and in Alachua County that just came out of nowhere today. Um, so it's very important to have boots on the ground. The more people we have paying attention to what's going on, uh, communicating, I heard it mentioned before, but today, what saved us, by the way, is a relationship with a county commissioner and that I've been able to text with constantly during the meeting and got cooperation to help resolve some of the issues and concerns. So those relationships need to be developed with them. And also, if possible, if you can open up a line of communications with staff in these counties, because a lot of issues come from staff. But if the staff in a local area knows that you know the law, that you care about issues, you want to make sure that people are being good neighbors, then chances are they might reach out to you and ask you for your opinion on how to handle a particular matter. And that's the kind of relationships we want to develop throughout the state. And the ambassador program is the key to that.
Thank you
So
so much.
thank you guys for be willing to be ambassadors, and it is a big job. It'll be a learning experience because we're continuously learning about different issues that pop up. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Alan. Lucia, do you have something for us?
Couple of things. So this year, I am the chair of the Agricultural Practices Advisory Board for Miami-Dade County. I would venture to say that you guys should look to see if there's an ag board in your districts, and present to them what it is that agritourism is. A lot of them are not knowledgeable about it. They hear complaints about noise, this and that and the other, but I think one of the things we need to push is that it's one of the ways we're going to save our land. We're going to protect the land from developers. So I know that on our ag board, we have 13 representatives, and our ag board directly reports to the Board of County Commissions in Miami-Dade. So that's a very good thing to be able to look at, see if you have it, and go and give a presentation about agritourism. The second thing I'd like to offer is that last year Miami-Dade County passed an ordinance in agritourism, and one of the things we were fighting was having to have a certificate of use because, as we all know, state of Florida exempts us. So I will be happy to share, Michelle, I'll send it to you all, the ordinance that was passed in Miami-Dade County, and once that ordinance was passed, we've seen a reduction of code compliance issues, and a lot of people are self-policing in terms of noise. They're buying decibel readers. Parking has become a non-issue because people are parking within their property, which are the two things that we're really harping on. So I'll be happy to send that to you guys, and hopefully you can pick up some of the verbiage in there and may be helpful in your areas.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's one of the things that is always surprising to me. We know the statute. We have people up in Tallahassee, but these different counties can pass things and we don't even know about it. So until it spreads like wildfire, as it often does, or until somebody brings it to our attention, we just won't know about it. And the counties do watch each other. And it's not usually until there's a problem, then they have to go in and address the issue. So thank you so much. And I look forward to getting that from you, Lucia. All right. So now I'm going to hand it over to Lena. And Lena, what do you have for us, dear?
Well, we have the premiere event for all of you today. It's going to be my pleasure to introduce Jeff Manley. I know many of you got to meet him in person. If you came to our 2024 conference, that was at the Embassy Suites in Orlando. Jeff has been so helpful for our association. And my favorite is that he calls himself a second mile encourager, a racketeer, but my favorite and most important to us as the association is he's been an agritourism coach. So you may or may not know, but he has over 30 years experience in this field. He was mentored by the founder of Chick-fil-A, Truett Cathy, and co-founded the Rock Ranch. I don't know if any of you have been up to Georgia and seen that beautiful property, but they both did that. And now he has a agritourism consulting firm which is called Endurance Farm Partners. And the focus really is about preserving the legacies of family farms through investment of agritourism. So there's a lot of synergy, there's a lot of overlap for what you all do and what he is incredibly knowledgeable and passionate about. And so we thought today, with the launch of our very first ambassador program, that we would hear some words of wisdom and encouragement from Jeff. So, Jeff, the floor is yours.
All right, good. Thank you, Lynn. I'll do my best to live up to that. Let me make one correction, though. Endurance Farm Partners, Lynn, is a group that I've worked with before and still do consult for them. But I actually consult kind of on my own to different places. So, and right now I've got a farm in Ohio and one in Maine and one in South Carolina and one in Tennessee and different places that I'm helping, all different sizes and it's a lot of fun. This is just great joy to be in this industry. And if you're an agritourism operator, the money is nice. I mean, there's no doubt if you're a thriving, successful agritourism business. But when I think back at any revenue generated, it really does pale to me in comparison with watching the joy on the kids' faces and an educational field trip or a family that's just coming together and getting the dad out from in front of the college football game if you can and just having this opportunity to bond on your property regardless of what the experience. And to me that's what is all this is about, and to me also that's what's worth protecting. And so we do have a lot to talk about, and I hope that you will. I see these people. You all know how to run run this better than I do. You can raise your hand and stuff like that. I don't know how to do all that, but if you do have a question, stick your tongue out, do something, and we'll try to save enough time uh, um, for some of that also. So, Lena, help me stay on time, please.
Will do. Okay.
So, I remember my first exposure to agritourism in Florida, and I was doing some research on agritourism in Florida and a lot of different states as we were creating the Georgia Agritourism Association. And I remember being surprised that one of the New Jersey of all places seemed to have a very robust agritourism association. And I was invited to speak at the Florida Farm Bureau conference of some kind on agritourism, and just wonderful people, golly. And so I came down there, but as I was doing my research, I was really surprised at how little 15 plus years ago, how little agritourism there was in the state of Florida. I was just really surprised at that. There wasn't much in Georgia either, to be honest with you, but there was more of it in Georgia, which wasn't impressive. And then I started looking up farms and I realized just the potential that Florida has and Florida farmers have. And I mentioned this earlier, that one of the things I had said in my presentation was I just felt like Florida farmers were a little bit asleep at the wheel. Maybe they're scared of the mouse and big entertainment or something. I didn't quite understand what it was. And boy, let me tell you, from then, an incredible difference. And I'd like to also share with you that that a lot of a lot of states were doing well without an association. Georgia, unlike Florida, Sarah, I think you said there's 67 counties. Is that right in Florida?
Yes.
Well, Georgia has 159. And I mean, on every county commission board, there's at least one nut job. And and so that's 150. If you're lucky, there's only one. So that's 159 nut jobs trying to, bother you with agritourism. And in part, that's why we started the Georgia Agritourism Association. It's still going, but I'll be honest with you that it pales in comparison to the Florida Agritourism Association. And if this is one of those things like, I used to run a cattle farm. We had about 250 mama cows, and we had cattle guards everywhere. So you didn't have to open a gate. And I was spoiled and just never recognized what a treat that was, how valuable that was for me. And so it might be that that's the same way for you all, because you're joining agritourism and you've got this fantastic association, and you might take it for granted. Well, I'm sure all states have that, but in reality, it's very rare. I would say that there are less than 20 with as good state associations as I believe, in my opinion, that yours is. So that said, I think that this ambassador program is going to do nothing but strengthen this. And I remember when Lynn and Sarah and I started talking about this, I kind of misunderstood the scope of the project, and I thought it was like, and this will happen, and you all participate in this already, but a more formalized state mentor-mentee program, which is fantastic. It's just harder to do, because if somebody joins the association and they live 20 miles from you, you don't want to share much of anything. You'll smile, but you're not going to, you're not going to give them your contact at the radio station, or something like that. So, but that can be successful. But this is on a greater scale, and as you all listening to Michelle and Alan and about this craziness of doing a traffic study on an agricultural property, is just, it's nuts. And the only way you can grow into the strength of an association, because farmers individually have tremendous statewide influence. But it's this farmer and it's that farmer that has the influence. It's this one down here and this one up here. And then and this one's in cattle. So he's not really worried about row crops, and row crops isn't worried about blueberries. So it's disjointed, all of it. But if you can bring this whole thing together with this ambassador program, it's the potential to strengthen the association to be extraordinarily effective into the future is incredible. And so I really commend the thought processes around this, and as I enjoy talking to the leadership down there from time to time, one of the things, one of the strengths of an association is something like this, and you've already kind of talked about a peer review. If you can come up with a way to do a peer review, maybe for membership, maybe that helps take a message to a county board or city. I don't think y'all have townships down there. Then that just lends credibility. So all those things said, have I come up with anybody have your hair on fire with a question for me at this point? All right, good. Well, we'll keep going. So with agritourism, there are a lot of, if you look at just your farms, you've got flowers in the folks that are signed up for this meeting. You've got everything from rural RV parks to flowers to there's horses, there's weddings, there's blueberries, there's just a big scope of things. And typically in agritourism, no matter the state, you've got people fall into two categories. You've got agriculture, you've got agritourism to support and help finance agriculture. Okay, it's an additional revenue source for agriculture. Or, and some folks like this, some folks don't like this, but honestly, some folks fall into this category. I'm not offended if it wouldn't offend me. Or you have agriculture to authenticate your agritourism. And so your goal from the beginning is really agritourism. And you might have a wonderful goal of sustainability or anything like that. But if you've got, 10 acres and a sustainable farm, it's going to be hard to scale that except for adding the agritourism and education component, because that revenue generating potential is exponentially increases at that point. So you've got these two categories of folks that you're going to fall into, and I think that sometimes, like Michelle mentioned, bad actors, we do end up with that. I was really involved with Lamar County, Georgia, and the county commissioners would call me and they would say, "Hey, we're trying to create an agritourism zoning or ordinance, and what do you think?" And we went through a few variations of it, and they ended up approving it. And then this Yahoo comes in and he has a pecan orchard. And so he calls his pecan orchard agritourism. But what he does is he builds a horse racing track in the middle of the pecan trees. And they said that he qualified. Well, that hurts everybody. Just like if, you've got a zip line and somebody gets injured, if you've got a zip line in California, that affects them, or in Georgia or Tennessee or wherever. So you do have to be very mindful about the bad actors, and it is difficult because typically those folks, their disposition is going to be pretty difficult to deal with. And that's why sometimes this ambassador program, or this opportunity to have a peer review is so helpful.
Jeff, can I interrupt for a second?
Absolutely.
Michelle had a question that kind of fits in here. Do you have BMPs for agritourism in Georgia? Do you know of any states that have them?
Some folks do have them. Florida does or does not?
No, it's been brought up for discussion. And it's so different from agriculture because agritourism is just so broad.
No,
So
we have BMPs in Florida.
not
Yeah,
for
I think what we're
agritourism.
talking about are
For
different things.
agritourism.
Agritourism
BMPs for
specifically.
agriculture and
Yeah.
BMPs for agritourism.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Um, I can't remember which state that I've seen those. I know Troup County, Georgia tried to implement that, but what happened there was that when we're as an association, we're kind of in between, right? We want to come up with something that's going to that's going to please a commission board and seem thorough. But 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 agritourism is so valuable to that small startup couple, retired or just married or whatever it happens to be, that's got this dream of a farm, and all of a sudden you say, okay, well, you've got to have this many bathrooms, um, or anything like that, and so I, I've not seen that done well where it wasn't restricting, Sarah. So,
Jeff, one of the things that you shared with us at our conference, but you often say to me, is agritourism is all about having fun. And we know this group is serious because they want to spread the love, spread the joy, as you were talking about earlier, about what agritourism can do, not just for your farm, saving your family farm, also passing on the legacy to for your other generations. But it also, this group is going to be really serious and looking out for policies and laws that are coming down the pipe. But ultimately, agritourism, and this is what you love, and this is why you helped co-found Red Rock Ranch, is because it is about having fun. And we love your stories, and we were just looking for some words of inspiration and motivation from you today.
yeah, and let me tell you, that's that's where I think that there are things that we all can do. So as ambassadors for this program, I think your goal really needs to be to increase the membership and engagement with other operators. There's so many people out there that have no idea that what they're doing is could be defined as agritourism, and for them to participate in the growth of the association in the state, so that when things do pop up, you've got this wonderful network. Um, but my wife um, is super smart, and she didn't have a job out when we got married, and she was bored stiff, and I was working 100 hours a week, and I'd come home and she'd want to go on a walk or take a horseback ride or something. I just wanted to go to bed. And so I convinced her to get a job, and so she ended up going to medical school of all things. And I was so glad because it was enough to keep her busy. And and I used to tell her all the time two things. One, C, when she wasn't doing her best in school, C equals MD. And then one of the other things that her professors taught her was that nobody wants to sue a nice doctor. And it's the same with us as ambassadors of agritourism. By nature, we're inviting people to our farm, our investment, our family legacy, or whatever it happens to be. Certainly the revenue's attracting, but like I started with, there's so many other benefits to it. And so just, I think, being an example in your ambassadorship of of agritourism, not only to grow the membership, but one of the best ways to keep friends with the county is to host a county function, give county employees a discount. There's always hair on that. But I was always worried about, and you all have to worry about this, the next person from the land of northern aggression is going to move down, right? They're going to get right next door to you, and they're not going to like, it could be a train whistle. They're not going to like a candy cannon. They're not going to like a dinner bell ringing. I mean, whatever, they're not going to like it. And so you've got to constantly protect yourself. And so, being a part of that community like you already naturally do. And one of the things that I started doing years ago was, we had ponds on the farm. And so I sponsored a county employee, um, fish day where you could fish. You could come at 1 o'clock, and it grew to the point where the county shut down everything, after the bus drivers got finished with their work, and they shut down the entire county work system. They continued to get paid from 3 o'clock on, and then everybody came out to the farm and they were able to fish, and the sheriff's department cooked barbecue. And let me tell you, over the course of many years of doing that, if we had a storm, then I just call the sheriff and say, "Hey, can you send a bus full of prisoners out here?" And he would send all the trustees, and I would feed them great food, and they'd be in black and white striped outfits out there picking up limbs and helping rake and things like that. It was an incredible relationship. And so we can do those things, as ambassadors for agritourism, as ambassadors for our own place. The other thing that we can do is, that just pays such dividends, is to become your local, within a 20 or 30 mile drive of your farm, become every parent's desire for their child's first job to be at your farm. And get the reputation that you're going to teach them how to work. You're not going to be easy on them. You're going to teach them how to tuck their shirt in, how to shake hands, how to have eye contact. And if you can, take within your nature as well the development of and work ethic of other people, and that part of the community, it pays huge dividends. I'm a big advocate of, having been raised in the Chick-fil-A family, that, if you might not like Chick-fil-A food, might not like chicken, I don't know, but it's hard to argue that when you go in, you're going to be treated nicely. People are going to smile at you. You hopefully will hear my pleasure and have a clean bathroom and good hot food. And and the entire, does anybody work for McDonald's or Wendy's? If not, just click off for just a second, because I'm going to tell you the secret of Chick-fil-A's service model is actually, and don't, Lena, nobody's going to pass the plate, but it's based off actually a scripture verse of Matthew 5:41. And this is the old parable: when somebody slaps you on one cheek, then turn the other one. But part of that parable was, if a Roman soldier forces you to carry their load one to the mile marker outside of town, which was the law, carry it the second mile, because that's where we have influence. And so, if you didn't know that little bit of trivia about Chick-fil-A, of course, it grows from there. And they don't print that, they don't publish it, but that's what it's based on. And so, if we can think about that as we train our employees, that we want them to perform in the second mile. So yes, if you show up on time and you've got your shirt tucked in, and you and you take your sunglasses off when you engage with a customer, and you pick up trash without being asked to, and you do everything you're told. That's not the second mile. That's the first mile. You're getting 10, 12, 15, $20 an hour. That's what we're paying you for. But when a kid drops a snow cone and your employees bump heads to pick it up, to get on their knees, to engage with that child and say, don't worry about it, that your parents just stood 30 minutes in line to get this snow cone that you dropped. Take them, empower your employees to go to the front of the line, cut in line, say, hey, we got an emergency snow cone issue, and get that snow cone. Right then and there, if you got a room full of citizens and you're dealing with the county commissioner that wants to give you traffic studies, if you've got over 50 cars, then you've got a room full of people over time. They're going to stand there and stand up for you also. So there's so much that we can do as ambassadors. And as you all set the tone for agritourism in Florida, then you're the example for that. And then through that ambassadorship, then you can also increase in it's almost a club. Hey, be a part of this amazing thing where you can create lifetime memories for families and get paid for it. And then together you navigate through all of these other things that I think the association can strengthen. It brings you together collectively, whether you're horses, blueberries, weddings, or fisheramas. So I hope that helps you understand how excited I am about your program. And I just I'm beyond proud of your association's leadership, because they are way out there in front of so many people. And what's amazing is that they're not part of the Department of Ag. And so many of them are. Georgia's is now, and it's nice. It's nice people involved, but it is ho hum. For if I were to go to our folks here in Georgia and say, man, Florida's got this great ambassador program, let's do that. Well, I can read their mind. They're gonna say that sounds like work, and it's just not gonna happen. So I'm so proud of y'all. And I'm happy to answer any other questions. Lena, I don't know if I've met some of your goals for my
You
being
did.
here.
You did.
And I don't want to overdo, but I've got all evening. So tell me
Well,
what you'd like to
we
talk about.
suspect we'll be asking you back for different events. So I know not everyone gets to see Jeff Manley all the time. So hopefully today, everyone that's here drew some inspiration from his words and is more committed to what you're doing on your farm for agritourism. So thank you. Thank you very much, Jeff.
Jeff, I want to tell you that you inspired me. And after you spoke at our conference, I came back to my place and I thought, how can I get my staff to want to go the extra mile? Just, more than just saying, oh my goodness, that was amazing. So I put up a sign in our barn that if you get above average service, if you get excellent service and you're willing to leave us a 5-star review, mention the name of the staff member and they'll get a bonus. And first of all, my 5-star reviews went up big time, which was amazing for us, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
also my staff, they're really focused on doing excellent customer service now.
Yeah.
I mean, they always were, but now they'll say, "Hey, they're really going above and beyond for my staff, for our guests." I mean, so thank you for inspiring me in that way.
Oh, well, it's so much my pleasure. And to me, if a couple of things, I think everybody should be doing exit surveys. Get an attractive high school kid to follow people, and they can do his iPad, and it can go wherever you want it to go, so you can calculate the results. just a few simple things. But one of the questions needs to be, what was your favorite thing? What was your favorite thing? And 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 your goal should be that among the top three answers should be your staff, your employees, because I don't care if you got a train or a horseback riding or however fancy a slide or whatever. If you've got a curmudgeon that's running it or parking cars and giving a bad first experience or dirty bathrooms, then it's going to go, it doesn't matter how much money you spend, but you could have a very modest operation and the best employees. And that should be your goal. It really should. And there's a lot of the ways they make scratch offs where you can, have you could hand them out to your guests and say, if you catch an employee doing something really special, would you give this to them? And then the scratch off is, it's the people that you do business with locally in your community, and it might be a free oil change, a haircut, eyebrow waxing, whatever. And you can do that. And we used to give out, we called them truant bucks, and every guest got $5 fake, and they got to tip our employees. And at the end of the night, you counted up who got the most, and we'd make a big deal out of that. Now, where that's a problem is that the hayride driver at the end of the night gets all of them that weren't passed out, and the people cooking in the back that never engaged. That so you have to accommodate for that. But thank you, Michelle. I'm glad that was helpful.
Of course. Well, Jeff, we hope you stick around for a little bit longer. We want to open it up to everyone here for questions and answers. And Michelle and Alan, was hoping that you all can help out with the answers. So who might have a question? We have a couple announcements for sure, but let's start out with any questions.
So I have a question. First of all, I thank you very much for sharing that information. That was very helpful. I've been part of associations, but on a different scale across the state before also. And one of the things that has always helped us is having some type of form of either agenda or materials or something along those lines that we could utilize. Understanding that each county, each district is going to be different, and there's going to be different things that come up according to the county commissioners' agendas that they have themselves and what that may look like. But is there an overall consensus of I don't want to say generic information, but information that could be utilized that could be across the board for each of us to kind of build off of certain things that I don't know if we have a lobbyist or if there's anybody that's in legislation that kind of has their ear to the ground. And Lena, that might be you. Yeah, I figured as much.
That would be me.
Just so if there are those, hey, this is coming out, we need to stop it at the head. What does that look like and that type of thing? So
I'll answer that. Well, we start with our toolkit. So we have an agritourism toolkit that we have put a whole lot of work into, and that's a good place to start with answering some of the questions that we might have. But our goal is to put together a guide that's going to be for the ambassadors. And of course, your board members would be an initial resource. So we want to have a flow of where you go with questions. If you can't find it here, go here. So that's one of the things that we've talked about putting together. And I'm hoping that IFAS is going to help us out a little bit with that. But the board has definitely talked about doing that. We want to have a resource guide so that the ambassadors will go there first if they have questions. And then from there, you can go to your board members and then to the staff. So that way, questions are more easily answered without having to call Sarah if we have a place to go to for all of that information. Do you have anything to add to that, Alan?
Yes, I would like to suggest maybe that we do another webinar for all of those who want to be ambassadors, and it would be along one of the lines of the meetings that we have at our convention is, but one is understanding the law, so that our ambassadors get and have some of the people there who talk about the issues that come up and how to address them from a legal standpoint, so that our ambassadors really have a full understanding of issues and really understand the law and what we're up against. I did notice someone saying, and I think absolutely we should have an email list that we share information with. And I think it would be great if as many of ambassadors as could um, zoom in on our board meetings, because a lot of them are very educational, and it would also bring them up to date with what's going on with the association.
And I'll also insert that we have done webinars on some of these topics. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube, do so. If you miss a webinar, we post them there. I also post them on our Facebook page. If you're not a member of our private Facebook page, it's just for members, and that's where we share a lot of ideas. You'll have questions. Where can I get a train? I know someone was asking about that recently. And I think we did one on, I know we did one on liability law and what that means. And I'm thinking back the last several years, but I'll try to put together a list and send to everyone of what I think will help you as an ambassador. Good neighbor. We've done some very helpful ones.
And another thing that we could simply do to get everybody involved in getting to know each other and do better is maybe just have um, a meeting, a Zoom meeting, where we just call it like a chat box, where everybody expresses what their concerns are, maybe what their issues they're seeing in their area, things they've heard or had to deal with. And we can all learn from each other while we're also getting to know each other.
Excellent. Okay, thank you. All right. Any other questions or concerns?
Is there a way to maybe get like case law precedent for current cases and or like really relevant cases in some of the counties that have already been tried? Like I know there's a lot more in the last 2 to 3 years, like to what Alan was saying, like learning about the law, but like can we find the case law that's already been set?
Lexi, you will be very surprised to hear that there hardly is any. We have some, and we're happy to share it with the whole group, but most of the cases end up being settled or dropped.
Okay.
And be aware that in Volusia County, they were quoting some judicial precedent in Volusia County, and it was actually a court case that went to the Supreme Court. But the only problem is they were talking about the Supreme Court of the state of New Hampshire. So be careful to make sure that you're dealing with the state of Florida and not some other state.
And I would add, this is Rose. I would add that, I mean, we had a case here in Jefferson County, and it was ultimately resolved in favor of the agritourism operator, but it is not precedent anywhere else. I mean, you just have to be really careful with that stuff. It didn't go to the appeals court. If it went to appeals court, it'd be a different situation, but it didn't go there.
And,
I
and I'd
guess
like,
more so, I'm sorry, go ahead, Rose. I'm sorry.
I think where most of the problems pop up with is people not understanding the law. And if people do understand the law, and sometimes it's hard to just when you read it to really understand it. That's where I think conversation with questions, chatting back and forth about it. I mean, most of us that are on this call that are on the board, we've been educated through trials and tribulations of issues that have come up, and we have learned from that. And I think that's the reason I think talking about different issues in maybe chat rooms or whatever, that we could um, help educate each other.
And something Jeff mentioned as we went kind of through the document that we shared with everyone earlier, and I'm happy to share it again, of the job of the ambassador. One thing is to kind of keep a list of all this stuff, because there are 67 counties, but a lot of the issues are similar. And it's good to have an idea how people went to the VAB and solved their problems. And while, yes, every county's different, and every 4 years you may get new commissioners and property appraisers, if we kind of have a tool belt of what works at different places, that's very helpful. And that's where you can be the boots on the ground to kind of keep an eye on what's going on and then also keep us informed in Tallahassee.
I also think we have an ambassador from our area that's on the Alachua County Rural Concerns Committee, and that's a good place to get started if you're an ambassador, and if your county has a Rural Concerns Committee where they're dealing with rural concern issues, it's a good place to get connected with the county and also to represent agritourism. I'm not sure if they're still on, but if they'd like to comment about that, it might be helpful.
Was that you, Lucia? You're muted, babe.
Yeah, I know. I have to log off. I had a hard stop at 6:30. I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question, Alex?
I was saying that a lot of counties have rural concerns committees, like a committee where,
Yes.
like you probably have in Dade County, where they deal with rural issues. Getting on that committee and being a part of that would be very helpful.
Well, the way it's done in Miami-Dade County, that committee is made up or was put together by the Board of County Commissioners. There's 13 different organizations, all representing agriculture, that have a representative on that board. So the way I got on the board is I represent the South Bay Chamber of Commerce. I was nominated by the chamber to fill that spot on that board. So, they have to vet you and so forth, and then you get on the board. I don't know that all counties have that board, but I would venture to say if your counties are big enough that maybe that's something you can bring to the attention of the commissioner and say, hey, we're going to need something like this, because anything that relates to agriculture or policy or development that impacts agriculture, this board should have some kind of opinion on it, right? So that I've been serving now for 2 years. The first year I was just, serving as a board member, and in December I was elected as the chair. So we've been looking at it not just in terms of agriculture per se, but things that affect agriculture, like our road conditions, we have terrible road conditions down in South Bay. We have pothole issues. We're talking about budget. How do we increase the budget? So anything that affects agriculture and our residents and our business, we try to get involved as much as we can. And we usually do have quorum, and my understanding is that we are one of the boards that the county commissioners listen to the most, because obviously we all know the revenue, right? The impact of agriculture in our state. So I would go to them and say, hey, is there one? Can we start forming one? Listen, we have Farm Bureau here. We have tropical fruit growers. We have, a Chamber of Commerce. Let's put together this kind of board to help the county commissioners digest, what is happening in agriculture and help them make the right decision.
Exactly.
I'm going to have to log off now, folks. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Lucia.
Thank you for joining us, Lucia.
Thank you. So we are going to have an application. We're at the end of our hour, so I want to make sure we get this out. Sarah, are you going to send that application out to all of the people that are on here, or all of the people who signed up?
I'm going to send it to everyone who signed up, and a recording of this to anyone who wasn't able to make it as well.
Okay.
And just a brief overview. This is what it looks like. It's just asking for what kind of activities you offer, how long you've been in agritourism, what is inspiring you to be an ambassador, do you have the time to commit? Obviously, we've talked a lot about the time commitment today. Are you going to be available to answer calls? Some of your districts are larger than others. Are you able to get around to everyone as needed? We're not expecting you to go to visit every farm. And are you able to support them? Are you willing to host agritourism operators on your property? Sometimes in the past, we've had some members offer kind of an open house to get to know other farms, not even just members of the association, just other farms who are interested in agritourism, if that's something you'd be interested in doing. So I will be sending that link out. So keep an eye out for that. Um, and also, one last thing before we wrap up, I was having an issue with this opening. Um, I'm going to put in a plug for our next webinar. If you haven't heard, I've sent out a few reminders, but tomorrow we're going to have an exciting webinar on the Rural and Family Lands Protection Program. FDACS will be coming to do it. It's something a lot of people have expressed interest in, how to preserve their land for their future. So if you're interested in this at all or know someone who might be, please share the information. And it's tomorrow at 4 o'clock. If you need the link, just let me know and I can send it to you how to register. And that's all the housekeeping I have.
I would like to add a comment just to let everybody that's on here know that this is a great organization. There are great people in this organization, and we are so thankful that you're interested in being an active part of it.
Well said, Alan.
Thank you. And I'll add to that we have this beautiful statute, but it's not perfect. And we right now, just seeing what's happening in Alachua County, it's scary. If you go in and look at what they're looking at, like they're talking about addressing any new construction on your property that's not directly tied to the farm venture. They're talking about traffic studies and all of this other stuff. The one part of our statute that is the scariest part to me is how counties address offsite impacts. That counties have been given the right and the authority to address offsite impacts. And I think that I think some of our counties are finally getting a hold of that and they're realizing, oh, I do have some power. They can't make statutes, they can't make ordinances that prohibit agritourism, but they can get to us this way. So, there's definitely some things out there that could impact all of us. So we need all of us to be stronger and to really be, have our finger on the pulse of what's going on across the state. I just jotted down some notes of things that I feel like are so important. We will build our membership. The ambassadors, we want you to be the voice in the community. We want you to call these new farms and say, hey, are you a member yet? We're stronger in, numbers equal strength. We want you to join. Get that sign out there. Join us. We're going to increase knowledge ourselves. We will learn. The best way to learn anything is to try to teach it. And so if you guys are responsible for that knowledge, you're going to have to learn it yourselves. So you're really going to increase your knowledge and the knowledge of others. We're going to improve our community relations. These ambassadors are going to improve that community relations, just like Jeff Manley mentioned, inviting people out to go fishing in the lakes. I think the ambassador program will improve agritourism. I think these agritourism operators, your operations are going to improve, and we're going to help improve the operations of other people too. It's going to increase agritourism because people are going to see what we're doing, and maybe these farms will be successful, and then other people want to do it too. The best thing is to encourage each other. I feel like a lone soldier many, many days trying to be the business owner and the operator. And when I talk to another wedding venue owner, it is so encouraging to see that we're not alone. And that encouragement has helped my sales have wind on many, many days. So I really feel like that's a real benefit of this program. And then supporting each other. When you have an issue, to have somebody who can come with you to that Board of County Commission meeting, right? Somebody who's going to support you if there is a problem. I was having lunch today at Johnson's Barbecue, and a lady who has called me so many times was sitting at the table next to me. She came over and gave me a big hug because my phone, I answer the phone when she calls, and we help each other through some situations. And, that's what we want you to be in your district, is to help each other out. If nothing else, pray for each other. If you can't do anything else, let's pray for each other. So anyway, I'm super excited about this program. When we get it launched, I want to have the first meeting at my barn. I want to invite you guys all out, and you can tell me everything I'm doing wrong, so that my barn can be the best, right? But I want to invite you guys out so that we can all support each other. All right, so Sarah's going to get that out. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you, Jeff, for being here. I don't know if you're on there, but we just really appreciate you so much, and all of your knowledge that you've shared, and just the fact that you're encouraging us to be the best at what we can do and keep farmers farming. So I appreciate it, and I think I'll close it up with that. Lena, do you have anything?
That's it. Thank you so much, everyone. We're so looking forward to working even more with you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Good night.
We'll talk again soon.